Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicle Night channel. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get Pokemon TCG code cards. Are you looking to complete your card collection online for the latest set? PTCGO has everything you need. And please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Please enjoy the discount and your purchase directly supports the content I create in this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your supporting PTCGO. In today's video, we're taking a look at Charizard from the Pokemon Go expansion set. Charizard is a stage 2 Pokemon with 170 HP, it has 3 retreat costs, no resistance, and is weak to water. Its awesome ability is Burn Brightly. It basically makes each fire energy you have in play count as 2 fire energies, and you can only apply one of this ability at a time. And it also has the attack Flare Blitz. For 2 fire and 2 colorless energy, it deals 170 damage, but then you discard all energies from this Pokemon. So with this Charizard in play, it makes it so much easier for us to energize our fire Pokemon's attacks. As my main attacker, I'll be using Charizard VSTAR. Its main attack is Explosive Fire. For 2 fire and 1 colorless energy, it deals 130 plus damage, and if Charizard has damage counters on it, it deals 230 damage instead. And its V-Star power attack is Star Blaze. For 3 fire and 1 colorless energy, you can deal 320 damage, after which you discard 2 energy from this Pokemon. This attack is so strong, allowing you to knock out any Pokemon in the game. My next attacker is Heatmor, more for its exciting flame attack. For 2 fire and 1 colorless energy, it deals 90 damage. But if this Pokemon has 3 extra energies attached on it, you can also deal 180 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon. With the help of Charizard's ability, this allows you to snipe your opponent's bench. And finally, I'm also using Radiant Charizard. You can only have 1 Radiant Pokemon in a deck. It has the ability Excited Heart. This Pokemon's attack will cost 1 colorless energy less for each prize card your opponent has taken. It has the attack Combustion Blast. For 1 fire and 4 colorless energy, it deals 250 damage, but you can't use this attack on your next turn. You can basically use Radiant Charizard to attack with just 1 energy. This is great for a strong sneak attack late game. But just for fun, since PTCGO has a glitch, it doesn't seem to recognize Radiant EEVEE as a Radiant Pokemon, so I included it in this build. So we have 2 Radiant Pokemon in this build. Radiant EEVEE has the strong attack Twinkle Gathering, which allows you to search your deck for a number of cards up to the number of different types of Pokemon you have in play and put them into your hand. Yes, Marnie can easily disrupt this attack, but it's still a pretty cool attack. As for the other cards worth noting, I have a full set of Magma Basin Stadium, which allows you to accelerate 1 fire energy from the discard pile to one of your benched fire type Pokemon, but you have to put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. But other than that, all the other cards are pretty self-explanatory. And that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Charizard. Alright, let's get into some games. We are going to go first. And we're going to start this one with a Charizard V to go into the active spot. There is another Charizard V from the Darkness Ablaze set. That one has a strong attack, 220 damage for 4 energies. But I think this one is a little bit better just because it has 2 retreat costs instead of 3. Its survivability is a little bit better with this one because you can pivot it out of the active spot easily than the other one. Now my opponent's going to start with an Arceus V, and Arceus V-Star is very strong. It has the attack that can accelerate energies to their Pokemon V, and it also has access to their V-Star power ability that can get them any 2 cards from their deck. So our priority definitely is to set up our Charizard so that we can multiply our fire energies. So we need to set up our Charmander as quickly as we can. And my opponent's pairing their Arceus V-Star with a Flying Pikachu VMAX. Alright. And they're just going to charge up their Pikachu, I guess. But my opponent's Arceus V has a choice belt to it. If we can't evolve into a V-Star, they could just knock out our Charizard and they could just win this game. Although we're going to set up other basic Pokemon with our Sonia, so we should be okay. We have another energy, so we could probably retreat it. And speaking of, we actually got a Charizard V-Star from our top deck, so let's evolve that. And I'm just going to set up my Charmander and also get a Snorlax. And I'll just retreat my Charizard V-Star for now. And I'm just going to Gormandize. And having energies in your discard pile is okay because we have Magma Basin in this deck. And that's going to help us accelerate more energies to our fire type Pokemon. and that also helps us to use Raihan. So most likely they're going to evolve into their Arceus V-Star this turn, knock out our Snorlax, and that way we can use our Raihan. And we can actually attack with Charizard V-Star if they do get a knockout. Because what we can do is use Raihan, accelerate an energy to Charizard V-Star, get a Charizard with the Burn Brightly ability, and all we need is 2 energies for us to use Charizard V-Star's V-Star Power attack, dealing 320 damage. But my opponent's just going to use their Arceus V to energize their Arceus V. Alright. So we're just going to continue to set up then. And I think I'll just get another Charmander and another Charizard V. Let me discard this Bruno so that I can get a Heatmore. And just gonna Gormandize. Alright. So we're okay. I think we're safe. Even if they target our Charmander, we have another one. We can evolve now because we have a Charizard on hand as well, and also a bunch of rare candy. So as long as my opponent doesn't Marnie me, we should be okay. And we can get a knockout in our next turn. We even have a boss's order. So even if they knock out my Snorlax, we can boss their Flying Pikachu V and get a knockout that way. And their Arceus V, even if they evolve into a V-Star, will not be able to knock out our Charizard V-Star. So we're just going to tank a hit. There's the evolution to their Arceus V-Star. They can also use their Starbirth ability, get any 2 cards from their deck. But they're just going to boss my Charizard V. Oh, okay, they're only dealing 210 damage, so we survive an attack. Let's go ahead and evolve into a Charizard. Now all our fire energies are doubled. Each one counts as 2 now. So we can even retreat our Charizard V so that they can't get a knockout. They already used up a boss. What are the likelihood that they have another one on hand, right? But, I mean, they haven't used their Starbirth ability just yet. I'm going to conserve my other supporter cards, so I'll just Gormandize. That got us a Bruno and a Quick Ball, which we don't really need right now, especially our bench is full. But let's see what my opponent does. We can't get our Snorlax out of the active just yet, but at least we put our Charizard V to safety. And that's what I mean with this Charizard. You can easily retreat it. But if I had the other Charizard from Darkness Ablaze, my opponent would have gotten 2 prizes already. Alright, we got a Skyla. So now we have 4 energies to our Charizard V-Star. We can even use Raihan to energize our Heatmore. And that's going to go a long way. I'm just going to grab a Magma Basin so that I can put 1 extra energy to our Heatmore. And then I'll just, I think, grab another Charizard. So now we have 2 Charizards with the Burn Brightly ability. So even if they target 1, we are still going to be safe. We don't have any damage to Charizard V-Star. Yeah, I'm just going to use Star Blaze, I think. I'll just get a knockout here. I was reserving it for Pikachu VMAX, but I think just taking out this Arceus V-Star is good. That gets us 2 prizes, and that prevents them from using their V-Star ability. I could have reserved it for this Flying Pikachu VMAX, but that's okay. It's only dealing 160 damage anyways every turn. I mean 190 with the Choice Belt, but that's okay. It's not getting a knockout just yet. And we could just easily chip away at their VMAX with our Charizard. So we can evolve the other Charizard V-Star. And then We can accelerate an extra energy, use Bruno probably. I mean, they might not get a knockout here, so we should be fine. But they're trying to set up another Arceus V-Star. But with Heatmore being available on our next turn, they're not gonna get a knockout off of our Charizard V-Star. We have a boss. I could actually boss their Bidoof and then get a knockout off of their Crobat V. So that's 3 prizes in a single turn thanks to our Heatmore. So there it is, 192 our Charizard V-Star. That doesn't get them anything. So we'll accelerate that one, less energy to our Heatmore, switch, and I mean we can't damage their Pikachu. So what I'm gonna do is just get 3 prizes off of this, knockout Bidoof, and also their Crobat V. That's 3 prizes in a single turn, guys. That is insane. Heatmore is so good, and having it in this Charizard V-Star combination is really good because that also gives you that bench hitter, you know? You can snipe your opponent's bench. For 180, that's a tremendous amount of energy. Or a tremendous amount of damage done to your opponent's bench. We got a choice belt. And what I think I'm going to do is attack with this Charizard. And let me use Ordinary Rod, get Heatmore, and probably just 1 energy because we can use those other energies with our Magma Basin. Use Bruno, and yeah, I'm just gonna attack Flare Blitz for 200 damage, so that actually puts a big dent on their Flying Pikachu VMAX. And we have a boss's order, so we can just finish it off in our next turn. We only need 1 more prize anyways. We could just target either their Bidoof, but you know, go big or go home, right? And they're just gonna knock out my Charizard V-Star, but that's gonna be game. So I'm just gonna put Charizard. We have a switch anyways on hand. We're just gonna use Magma Basin, attach this, switch, and then we're just gonna get a knockout off of this Flying Pikachu VMAX for the win. There it is. Good game. Alright, let's move on to our next match. My opponent is gonna go first, and we're gonna start this one off with a Charmander in the active spot, which is pretty dangerous. We don't have any other basic Pokemon on hand. My opponent mulligans, so we might be able to draw into another one. No, we don't. And we're going against a Lunatone Solrock combo, which is a very strong single prize build. You know, for a budget friendly build, it's a very strong deck, very consistent, and yeah, you don't run out of energies. So I have a plan to win against this type of matchup actually. So I'll get my Radiant EEVEE and also a Heatran, and that's my answer to this against this build. I'm just gonna use Radiant EEVEE's Twinkle Gathering attack that can get us 2 cards right now, because we only have 2 types of Pokemon in play right now, 1 colorless and fire type. So I'll just get a Magma Basin, and I mean, we can evolve into our Charizard, so we don't really need anything else, but we need to set up our other basic Pokemon. I'll just get a Radiant Venusaur, because why not? We have 2 Radiants available to us, and again, guys, it's illegal to have 2 Radiants in a single deck, but right now PTCGO has a glitch, and I'm taking advantage of it because it's cool that you're allowed to get 2 Radiants in a single deck, but it only works for EV because I guess PTCGO has a glitch where it doesn't recognize Radiant EV as a Radiant. So as of right now, until they fix it, you can have 2 Radiant Pokemon in a deck with Radiant EV being one of them. But yeah, going against this Lunatone Solrock combo is very scary. it has the potential to knock out any of our Pokemon, even our V-Star, if they build up enough energy. But yeah, I'm surprised they haven't knocked out our Radiant Eevee just yet, so we're just going to take advantage of that. Just going to grab 2 energies with Sonia. And really my answer to this matchup is Heatmore. So if we can take out 2 of their Pokemon at the same time, we could slow them down significantly. And then I'll just grab a Radiant Venusaur. That way we can get extra cards for the meantime. And I'm just going to use Radiant Eevee to get Rare Candy and Charizard so we can evolve. And then I could use Boss's Order to disrupt them, maybe get the other Lunatone in the active spot so they don't get a knockout. But I think I'm going to go for the Magma Basin because I know that deck uses a lot of Stadium cards, so most likely they're going to replace our Magma Basin. So we need something to replace it just in case, because we need that to energize our Pokemon. But our first priority is to energize or to evolve into our Charizard. And my opponent's already setting up their Solrock, so they're well on their way. There it is. They're going to start energizing their Lunatone. And really, that's what makes it really scary. If you allow them to charge up their Lunatone enough energy, they could just target any of your Pokemon. And with enough energy stacked up, they can knock out even our V-Star Pokemon. But yeah, attacking with Heatmore could slow them down significantly, but they can also set up real quickly. And the downside is that Heatmore only has 110 HP, minus 20 because of the Magma Basin damage, so they can easily knock it out. That's the only downside to it. And there's their first knockout, knocking our Radiant Eevee. But you know what? It did its job. We can now evolve into our Charizard. And we probably need to get another one set up, because once they target that, it's going to be really bad. But we don't have any more Charmander in our deck right now. So I'll just set up my Charizard V for the meantime, and I'm just going to Gormandize. At least that's going to get them distracted. Instead of targeting our Burn Brightly Charizard, they're most likely going to target our Charizard V because they want that 2 prize right away. But when they do that, that will leave them open for Heatmore to get 2 knockouts. But yeah, so far they're ahead in the prize exchange, which makes it really scary, because that's what's going to keep us kind of in the game, is the prize exchange race. But I think as long as I can keep them from stacking up energy, we could tank a hit with our Charizard V. Let's go ahead and use our Heavy Ball, and that can get us our Charmander. So we can set up our second one just in case. And I think I'll have to use Marnie. I know that gets them more cards, but that's fine. Their bench is full. All they can do is stack up more energies to their Lunatone, but that's okay, because once we get our Heatmore attacking, we can knock out those 2, and the next one they set up will be their attacker, and then Charizard can just knock it out, and they won't be able to build up another Lunatone fast enough to get enough energies on it to knock out our Charizard VSTAR. So that's our strategy for this matchup anyways, but they are going to be ahead in prizes, so we have to just kind of watch out for that. And looks like they're building up energy to their active Lunatone. But what's scary is that if they boss my Heatmore, that's going to be... Alright, cool. They're just going to use Marnie, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. As long as they don't boss my Heatmore. That's basically our... that's where our winning strategy lies, is with Heatmore. They're gonna knock out my Snorlax, which is okay. So now here comes Heatmore, and just gonna thin out my hand here. I could use Bruno. That's gonna get us 7 cards. Alright, cool. We can evolve into Charmeleon. And then I'll just use Exciting Flame to knock out these 2 attackers. 90 to the active and 180. Knocking out both Lunatone from their field. So now, even if they put Lunatone in play with their rescue carrier, of course, that they can accelerate 3 energies to it. They can knock out my active Heatmore, but then we can knock them out with our Charizard VSTAR. But then again, if they knock out our Charizard VSTAR, they can get 2 prizes. So most likely, we have Evolution Incense. We could get another Charizard, Burn Brightly, and we could just attack with that. Even if they knock it out, we're only losing 1 prize. So I think in terms of price exchange, I think we should be okay. Because now that we've slowed them down a little bit, because they're not stacking energy to 1 Lunatone, I think near the end of this match, we could tank a hit with our Charizard VSTAR. That's what I'm thinking of. Because right now, all they could do is accelerate 3 energies at a time. So they're only doing 120 damage. Or 150 because of the Choice Belt. So that's a little scary. And with a Scoop Up Net, they're actually stacking a lot of energy to their Lunatone in the active spot. They're going to use Marnie. And that's what's scary. If they can use their Solrock multiple times with a Scoop Up Net, that's going to be really bad. They're dealing 150 damage right now. Just going to put my Snorlax in the active spot. We get an energy with their Training Court Stadium. Put it on Snorlax. You know what? I'm just going to attack with Snorlax. We're losing 1 prize with it, but I think it's a risk that I need to take. Since we're multiplying our energies twice, that actually those 2 energies gives Snorlax 4 energies. So I'm going to try and set up Heatmore. And I'm just going to use Body Slam here. Knock out their Lunatone. And again, they have to build up more energies to their Lunatone. And what's nice about it is that the Choice Belt doesn't increase their damage against our Snorlax. So if they accelerate 3 energies, I think it's only dealing 120 damage. So we're actually going to survive with 10 HP. So that's a good thing. Unless they have like a Scoop Up Net, then they can reuse their Solrock. Well, you know what? They can attach an energy from their hand, actually. I forgot about that. So they could get a knockout. Yeah, there's a Training Court. So they could add an energy to their active. So they're dealing 150 damage against our Snorlax. That gets them a prize. Yeah, they have to do that because otherwise they won't knock out our Snorlax. We get an extra knockout for that, so they have to knock out our Snorlax. Alright, this is a pretty close game. I'm not gonna lie. Pretty close game. I think I have no choice but to use my Charizard, but at least they're not gonna be able to knock it out. So all we need is to basically attach an energy here. Discard these 2 so that I can get a Charizard, so they can't target our multiplier. And I'm just gonna use Bruno. Hopefully we get a Magma Basin here so that we can... Dude, we got it. Awesome. So we can start putting energy to our Heatmore. And that's gonna win us the game, basically. At the end of the day, that's gonna win us the game. So I'll just go ahead and... I can even use my V-Star attack, actually. Yeah, I'll just attack normally. That's fine. So that gets us a prize. And I don't think they're gonna be able to knock out our Charizard V-Star bar. If they do, that's gonna be very bad. So they have to hit for 260 damage. But they have another Solrock, dude. They have 4 Solrock. So they're hitting 150 damage right now. 180 with a choice belt. 180. If they have a scoop up net, they might be able to 210, right? Oh my goodness, they might be able to knock out my Charizard VSTAR. If they do, that's gonna get them their last 2 prizes. They'll win this game. But if not, we can fully energize our Heatmore and get 2 prizes. There's a scoop up. If they have another scoop up, we're dead. We're dead. We're done for. But they don't have any more. They don't have any more cards in their deck, so they have to get a knockout here. Moon Kinesis. They don't get a knockout. Yeah, there you go. There's a scoop. Good game, man. Good game. All right, let's get into our next match. Ooh, we have Radiant EEVEE to start. And Manaphy. All right. Radiant EEVEE. What is my thought on Radiant EEVEE? Well, Radiant EEVEE is pretty cool. I like the Twinkle Gathering attack. He can get you any cards that you want from the deck. And it depends on how many type of Pokemon you have in play. So you can get as much as 6 total different cards with a single attack. However, it's really easy to get disrupted with Marnie or Judge or whatever. And that's what makes it a little bit kind of a meh. But you know what? If you can continue to use Radiant EEVEE, even if they shuffle your hand back to the deck, you can just continue to use Radiant EEVEE and search for the cards that you need. So it could actually be useful if you probably use Galar Mine Stadium to trap your opponent in the active spot if they can't retreat it, and then just search for the cards that you want from the deck. But my opponent hammers away my energy from our Radiant EEVEE, but that's okay. We have Charmander set up on our bench. Probably going to use Marnie to get more cards on our next turn. Hopefully that gets us an extra energy and continue to use our Radiant EEVEE. So my opponent looks like they're using Mewtwo V Union. Okay, this could be a control deck. So we're ready for that. I think we're okay with that. So I'm just going to use Radiant EEVEE to use Twinkle Gathering again. Can get Rare Candy and Charizard, and also Magma Basin. We have 1 energy in the discard pile. And with that, I could probably use Skyla to get a quick ball and start energizing my main attacker. Could be Charizard V. So that's the plan. And Charizard VSTAR can be very powerful. Even if they evolve or they put their V Union into play, we should be able to knock it out with our VSTAR power attack. But their hammer is very annoying. And they're also using Miltank. So Miltank doesn't get affected by our Charizard V's attack. So at least we have a bunch of single prize attackers that can deal with that. We have our Burn Brightly Charizard and also Heatmore. Although Heatmore is only dealing 90 damage, but still, it's good chip damage that can eventually knock out their Miltank. Alright, and sure enough, this is the control deck. They're using the Infinite Loop strategy with Celine. And Snorlax, of course, is the major draw engine for that build. And we're just gonna evolve into Charizard, our first Charizard. So now we're multiplying our energies, our fire energies. And I'm gonna start energizing my Charizard on the bench. Gonna use Marnie. It's gonna disrupt their hand, hopefully. And just gonna use Twinkle Gathering. Can get 3 cards from our deck. Then I could start setting up my Heatmore and also my Charizard V. So I'm just gonna go with that for now. I can probably use Skyla to get a Rare Candy, evolve into another Charizard, So that's gonna take care of their Miltank. We have a bunch of switch, and we're gonna put Charizard V on the side in preparation of their Mewtwo V Union. So let's see how our opponent pilots this deck. Let's see if they can maneuver into disrupting us enough times so that we cannot attack. And again, the whole disruption strategy is set on decking us out where possible, but also attacking with their Mewtwo V Union once they set it up. So I'm just going to use Magma Basin. I think I'm going to start building up my Charizard, my Radiant Charizard, and it looks like my my opponent is shocked. So I actually go between Radiant Charizard and Radiant Venusaur. Between those two, those are really good cards to put in this Charizard build. And for now, I'm just gonna get energies and Magma Basin, I think. That way we can continue to build up our energies to our Pokemon. And I think their deck uses Marnie as well, so I'm not really sure. But yeah, I found out that Radiant Charizard can only attack once, and then you can't attack the next turn unless you pivot out of the active and back again. So it's a little... I mean, I didn't know that before, so sometimes I'll use it, and then I find out that you can't really attack twice in a row. So, ooh, they have Avery. Which one can I discard? I think I'll discard Manaphy and Heatmore. Heatmore's not dealing that much damage anyways, so I think we can sacrifice it. We can just get it back anyways. And that hammer, dude, it's so annoying. But that's okay. As long as we have Magma Basin, we can continue to re-energize our Pokemon. So I actually wanted to put all of the Charizard in the standard format in this single build, but it just was not practical. I used the Darkness Ablaze Charizard VMAX, but it only does 300 damage, 330 max, and it just wasn't practical because I'm losing 3 prizes when they knock out my Charizard VMAX. So having Charizard VSTAR I think is better, because you only really need to use the VSTAR power attack once to get a knockout off of a VMAX Pokemon, and everything else can be handled by my other attackers. So, and you're only losing 2 prizes when they knock out my Charizard VSTAR. So I think it's a little bit better. I would like to use the VMAX, but the VSTAR I think is a lot better than the VMAX. So we're just gonna take out their Snorlax this turn, and we're gonna go from there. We can evolve into our Charizard on our next turn, re-energize it, use Switch, and then we can knock out this Miltank. And then we just have to take out the other Miltank, and then we're good to go. We can also attack with our Charizard VSTAR once we take care of these Miltanks. And even with the Cape of Toughness, it's not gonna add enough HP where our Charizard with the Burn Brightly ability is not able to knock it out. And also our Radiant Charizard can actually knock out their Miltank as well, because Miltank's ability only works against V Pokemon, so we can use our Radiant Charizard to get a knockout as well. And the fact that the energies are being doubled, we can actually use Radiant Charizard to attack even with just 2 or 3 energies. But for now, I'm just gonna build up this Charizard to knock out this Miltank. We're just gonna Flare Blitz for 170 damage, knocking it out, getting us another prize. So our win condition is to get all 6 prizes, while my opponent's strategy is to deck us out, but also for them to build up their Mewtwo V Unions so that they can use it. And if they energize it, they will be able to attack for a lot of damage. But as of right now, there's the last piece to their Mewtwo V Union, and they're gonna be able to discard it with a quick ball. All right, and there it is. They're gonna use Pyukumuku to draw into an extra card, and they could be building up, or they could be using their Mewtwo V Union this turn. But for now, they're using their Team Cheer to recycle their Celine and also their Professor's Research. Alright. But that's okay. We are conserving our boss's order. We have Evolution Incense to get Charizard VSTAR. And with just one energy on their Mewtwo V Union, there's really nothing they can do. And I'm sorry to say, but we're gonna foil their plan. And yeah, as long as you are familiar with the strategy of their control deck, there's really no way around it. So we're just gonna boss Star Blaze and knocking out their Mewtwo V Union with 350 damage. Man, that's so sad. And that gets us 3 prizes. So now we're down to our last prize, and really there's no escape for them. We don't have a boss, but the only thing they can present is their Miltank to not get affected with Charizard's attack, but we have other means to knock out their Miltank. So we have this in the bag. I think we have this. Yeah, so the Burn Brightly Charizard is actually really good. Even as a standalone, I think it could really be a good card. I could use Bruno. We have a bunch of... Yeah, hopefully we can get an energy here. Alright, cool. So what I'm gonna do, we got an energy. I'll just use Magma Basin to put one of my Charizard in the bench, energize it, and we can retreat easily because we have doubled the fire energy. And we're just gonna Flare Blitz this Miltank for the win, man. Good game. Wow. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicle Night channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.